Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Kalakaar. This is the fourth video on React login application. Friends, in the previous video we have learned that how we can run the React application on Node server. So friends, for that you need to watch the previous video. You can find the link in the description below. So friends, in this video we will learn that how we can submit the form in React. So for that we need one HTML form that I have already created, and I will also share the link in the description below. So let's copy that form. So from here we'll copy it. Let's create one component folder into our client. So I will say components, I will create one login. Okay, sorry, we can't paste it directly, so we need to create one functional component, React. So we'll say const login. Login is just a function which will return our login HTML. So we need to wrap it with fragment. Okay, so we need to make few changes in this form. So instead of class, because class is the reserved word, so we cannot use it to the React. So let's replace at all places. Okay, and we need to close all the tags which are not closed. Okay, and we cannot write this string. We cannot pass this string to this style attribute. So we need to pass an object that will create, let's say style, create one constant style. Okay, and we need to change the way, we need to convert it into the camel case, as it is going to be the property and its value is this #11. Okay, that's great. Okay, now there's no for attribute, so we need to say HTML for steed. There's one more. Okay, rest are fine. Let's arrange the code by tapping Alt Shift F. Now it looks better. Save the file. We also need to export this component. Let's say export default and the login. Let's use it into a root file. Instead of saying welcome message, we'll render our component, that is login component. So login. Okay, we need to import it to login from components and login. We don't need to write index.js because it imports it by default. So, but you need to be sure that if you don't have index.js, you need to mention the file name, right? Or even you have index.js, but then also you'd want to import other file rather than index.js, then also you need to mention the file. Got it? Okay, so let's reload the page, and you can say that we are not able to see the changes. Why? Because we haven't asked the webpack to create the new build. So instead of saying webpack again and again to create the build, we can ask webpack to watch the code by just writing -w. So let's check it. We'll say npm run build, and also create one more command for this for starting the server as well. So we'll say server. It's not necessary to start the server to write the server only. You can write your name as well. Got it? So this is just the script name. You can, but you need to be sure that whatever the name you are writing, you have to run it only. So I will say node server. Even I don't need to write that index.js, right? So it will automatically start that index.js. So I will create separate type tab. I will say npm run server, and our application is running on port 3000. Let's check it. That's great. We have that form. Now we need some styling like we have here. So let's copy that style part from here, and we need to create one in CSS file that will create it. So we'll simply say new file, assets folder. In assets we will have CSS, and here we will have style.css. Let's paste it. That's great. Okay, now let's import it into our login component. Let's see what happens. I will say not login, public assets CSS. Here we have style.css. Okay, now it says I'm not able to understand this. Yeah, because we haven't set webpack, because we haven't give the power, or we haven't enhanced webpack to read the CSS. So we need to create another rule. We need to write the test case to read all the CSS file. Got it? Okay, so we'll pass the loader. Here we don't need a single loader, so we'll pass an array. So for reading the style we need style loader, and to understand .css extension we need CSS loader. So right now we don't have those loaders, so we need to install them. So we'll say npm install as dev dependency -d, and the style loader and the CSS loader. Okay, let's check it. So it depends on your internet speed. Great, we have ready. We have now that webpack will able to read the CSS files as well. So npm run build. So you can see there's no error, and we have that great form. That's great. But see, you will not able to submit it. So for that we need to create two methods, that is the onChange and onSubmit. OnChange, so that we can store the values whatever you are typing in the fields. Okay, for if you remember that in the previous means in the older version of React, we were using the set state and this dot state to access the properties. So here we will use state instead of that. Okay, so we'll simply say constant, and we'll say get field value, and we'll have another method that is set field value. Okay, and we will initialize it with an empty object. Got it? So if you remember, then this is like this dot state dot value whatever, like username, password, and this is like this dot set state to save the values. Got it? So this is just same, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so I will write one change event. So on change event, you can give whatever name you want. So I will just declare it as a constant, and this is a function which has the event access. So I will say let's define some variables, and that is target, e dot target, let name equals to target dot name, and let value equals to target dot value. Got it? So we'll say set field, and here I will say name. So why I'm using this square brackets and name? Because I don't want to write this method twice. Got it? So I think alt shift down, yeah, alt shift down is the shortcut to duplicate your lines. So suppose if I don't want to write this, I have to say username colon value, and I have to wrap it because this is static like this. Got it? And then I have to write it again for the password. And what if I have 10 to 7 fields? Then I have to write this 7 times. So we don't want that. So let's make it dynamic. So we are wrapping it with the square brackets. Okay. And this is the name, which will be dynamically on the basis of the change event. On the basis where we are calling the change event. So here is the value against that. Let's console it so that we can see that whether it is working or not. So we'll say name, comma value. Got it? So let's call this event on here. Let me arrange it properly. Just a minute. Yeah, last one. Yes, we are done. So alt shift F. Let's duplicate our cursor first. Yeah, with alt you can duplicate our cursor. Okay, so I will say on change. We'll pass that function that we have created on change event. That's it. Let's bring it. Let's arrange it. Alt shift F. Sorry. Alt shift F. Yeah, done. Okay, let's check it. Save it, and we are good to go. Let's check it into the console. Oh my. Yeah, console. That's great. Uname password. It is working fine. So we need one more function, that is on submit event, and we'll say e, and we just want to prevent the default behavior because it may render the page, re-render anything. So we just don't want the default behavior. So prevent default. Okay, we'll console all the values that we have in our state. So we need to call this method, that is get field value. We don't need to write like we were using earlier, this dot state and anything. See how easy it is. Okay, duplicate. So we'll say on, sorry, on this here we need to write on click. We'll say on submit event. That's it. Let's check it. And I am saying test at the rate 123. Let's submit it. Yeah, but there's one twist. We only get the last word, password. We didn't get this username. So this is the case because every time when you set the state, it loses the previous value. So we need to save the previous value. So we will use it as a spread operator. So we are cloning the previous field state value. Got it? So now it is saying that I'm not able to understand this 3 dots. Yeah, obviously. So we need another preset for it, and we'll say npm install dev babel preset stage 3. Basically these are the specifications where you can use, so that we can use this as parent operator. So we need to use this in our loader. So we'll say stage 3, that's it. So I will say npm run build, and let's check it now. So I'm saying hey, password will be hello. So password hello, hey, let's submit it. That's great, we have the access of. Okay friends, sorry for this, there are so many issues, so I will improve it, but don't worry. So this is only for the this part. So in next part we'll submit this form to our API that will create using the node. So friends, if you like this video, then please don't forget to share and subscribe and like this video, and don't worry, I will improve. I'm working hard for the mistakes that I'm doing. So you will also find that there is lots of improvement in my audio. So you will find more improvements as I will go ahead. So friends, please share the comment. If you have any feedback, if you want to give any suggestion, please give me. I will just implement that whatever the feedback I will receive from you. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope I will see you again, and soon I will end this part by submitting the last part, where we'll call the API and where we'll authenticate the user, and we'll just log in that user to the dashboard. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.